Hey everyone, I just did my first shakedown run of my brand new Ember RV, and I've done a walk around and a walkthrough in the first couple of days, so hopefully you find it informative. Here it is. All right, well, what we're looking at now is a 2022 Ember Overland 191 MSLX. The X on the end means it has max solar package. So let's start taking a look at this model from the front to the back. We're going to do the outside first. There's this outside box where they have you put your propane. So you can see your propane goes in here. You can't lock this side because it's against the law to lock a propane container, apparently. So this toolbox is strong enough that you can stand on it to get onto the cleaning the roof or having to inspect damage or whatever reason. It carries a hefty weight. So right now we're going to be mounting the barbecue here. Once I get a barbecue cover, we'll be strapping that down there for now. And then on this side is where the lead acid batteries would normally go. But in this case, we don't have lead acid batteries. We have the max solar package, which comes with 2 lithium batteries. So as a result, they're kept inside, which I'll show on the inside tour. But for now, just know that right now, this is where the batteries would normally go if you weren't getting the max solar package. Since they're not using this for batteries, it allows me to store all kinds of stuff here, all my outdoor gear, the hitch, the emergency reflective stuff, the wheel chocks, and things of that nature. As we come around to this side, you get your first look at the pass-through storage. It goes all the way through the other side, and it's well lit as well. So there's no light on this side, but there's a light on that side. And then you have the light inside here for your Nautilus system. Now the Nautilus system is not normally seen in small 22-foot rigs. Some of the features you see here is a shower with a quick release nozzle. So there's a hose I'll show you on the other side. You've got your black tank flush. You've got your city water, which is hooked up right now. You've got a port where you can run your sanitizing fluid up from the sanitizing bucket with a hose, or you can also use an auxiliary clean water bottle if you run out of water and you're boondocking and you need to bring some water to your jug to the RV. You can run a hose from there down to the jug, and that will fill the the water pump will draw from that. You also have here the plungers to pull the gray and black tanks, and you've got the cutoff so that you can cut off the hot water heater, which is a Truma Combi water heater. We're going to talk about that in a minute. You can do a cutoff here when you're winterizing. Over here, you've got a heated tank, which I have on because we got just above freezing last night. So I've got that turned on. Those are tied up with, so that light ties to some pads that are attached to the water tanks to help keep them above freezing temperature and not freezing out. And then over here, let's see here, we've got the cutoff switch. So that big red switch there, you turn that and that cuts off all the 12 volts so that the battery is not draining from the rig, although it'll still charge from the solar charger. And that little port over there to the left, which I haven't put on yet, is a TireLink tire pressure monitor gauge system that ties in your iPhone. I got to set that up here. I have my own. I'm not sure which one I'm going to use. I like the dedicated display on my dashboard when I'm driving, but I might look into which one's really best for me. Also, here is the vent for the Truma Combi. The Truma Combi is both a furnace and a water heater. From what I hear, because it's very, very efficient, you actually can barely feel heat coming out of here when it's on. It seems to be perhaps slightly less intense or powered than folks are used to with the big monster furnaces and the big, propane based water heaters of the past, but it has so far proven to be quite effective. We got below freezing, or just about freezing last night, and inside the rig it was comfortable, although I will say it had to run the whole time to keep it that way. So jury's still out on that, but I prefer something that's efficient. And let's be honest, we've got a little electric heater if we had to supplement on some extreme cold nights like this. Obviously running off a shore power generator, we could just plug in an electric heater. There's a lot of options. The slide out here is a Schwintek style slide out, so it has gears on either side. We wanted to go with Schwintek this side. We had some bad experiences. You might have seen in my previous videos about the pulley system slide outs. This seems like another option, and this slide out is a reinforced slide out, meaning when it's slid in and retracted, you're still able to use it. A lot of RVs, you're not able to use the slide out when it's slid in. The bottom is not reinforced and you can actually cause damage. So this one is not like that. So that's great. That means we can use this RV when the slide out is in. It has an underbelly sewer holder, so that's where you put your sewer hose. I've been told by people that you can put the full 20-foot hose in there, or two 10-foot lengths. I'm going to put that to the test when we leave here. You'll see this all over, the Ember 123 warranty. What that means basically is that you can transfer between one owner and still have a warranty. You can have 2 years on all internal stuff, all the appliances and everything, and 3 years structural. So that is the Ember 123 warranty. I gotta say, for a new manufacturer with a new model, the extended warranty was something I was happy about. You'll see that in addition to this angle cut iron they have here, they've got some nice little extra flourishes. Like the Ember logo is etched into the little extra raised fins on the top. Those fins help protect the skylight on top, which I'll show you inside. And they also, I think, are going to help cut through some of the branches and bushes when we're going off-road and we get a little close. I was even thinking of sharpening that edge, seeing what it could do out there. Of course, you can see I'm already hooked up to city sewer, city water, and power. So I'm able to run this through all the tests and see how it does. I haven't really tried to run it off of battery yet. I don't have the expectations that a lot of people have of this. I would just like something with a lot of supplementary power. I'm not looking to be some off-grid folk who are going to spend 2 weeks out in the desert sun and try to live off that solar power. We have a 3,000 watt generator, and I'm just not really too worried about the solar power. Let's take a look more at the front. So the front has this removable and resizable hitch that you can move up and down or replace with a articulating hitch. It has pretty nice tow hooks and a little tow hook holder, which I thought was kind of nice. The front, you'll notice, is not a traditional jack, but is actually the type of leveling side support that you'll see sometimes on larger trailers and such. They used it as a front jack so it can lift the weight of the entire front end. And this means that you've got a lot of extra space. And although I forgot to test it when I first towed it here, apparently you can lower your tailgate and not hit the hitch. So we'll see about that. I bought this at Woody's RV where they supplied me with the weight distribution hitch. This is an E2 hitch setup. And so far, it's fine. I mean, I've got a truck with extra cargo capacity and extra lifting capacity, so the trailer's not really a challenge, but I do prefer to ride with distribution bars where possible, and they have built-in anti-sway capabilities. Now we are here at the other end of the pass-through. I also want to point out that these side markers are set up to be compatible with the Furrion backup camera and side camera systems. So you can just peel that little cap off and basically plug the cameras right in. We're looking at that option soon. You can see the pass-through here. It's not a very large pass-through. I'll be the first to admit that. But that's because underneath the couch here is all of the solar setup and a lot of the infrastructure. So it's a choice they made. It is a 22-foot trailer, so sacrifices have to be made somewhere. Later on, when I show you the inside, you'll see if the sacrifices were worth it. I'd like to also point out that they put in these straps and made this a bottom hinge door. Now, that means that you can lower it and use it as a table or use it as a workbench. I'm going to be pretty lightweight on it. I don't want to overwhelm that hitch with anything too heavy, but it's nice to pull out your tools and set your tape and stuff down on here. So it's kind of a cool little feature. And then you'll see here some of the solar and electrical features. You've got the solar, the MPPT solar controller. You've got the Combi Master charger and inverter that's telling you how it's operating. And then you've got the Go Power battery monitor. I understand these will never give you the same exact answer with how much charge you have, but the idea here is to monitor the battery and the systems from different ways, figure out what you're drawing from. When it's plugged in, obviously a lot of these numbers are going to be skewed, but theoretically it should tell you how much time you have left currently on the current draw based on the batteries. Again, it's all over the place because it's powered up. So we have these jacks, which are pretty decent stabilization jacks. I haven't had these type before. I just had the traditional scissor jack, and they are endorsed for using with the shock, so you just raise them up and down with this. So they're effectively manual, but I just have that drill and dedicate it to that use when we're traveling. So let's talk about the outside a little bit. So this thing has the Asdale fiberglass style shell. There's no wood. I'm sure if you know anything about the Ember, you've heard all about how it's built and how it doesn't have any wood on the inside of the paneling. They also use Eternabond tape to seal all of the sides together, and they don't use any butyl tape. So as a result, they've covered it up with this really large L brackets and angle brackets that are aluminum. They're pretty thick. I don't know what, 1/8 inch thick or something like that. They're also powder coated. So that seals it on top of the Eternabond and gives this thing a lot of extra structure so it doesn't twist so much when it moves around. I don't have the awning out right now, but you can see I do have to bring the awning out just a little tiny bit for the lights to work. I was a little surprised by that the lights don't work unless the awning is out. I'll have to confirm I'm not doing something wrong there. But it does have a automatic awning, nothing really to show there. It's the same old awning you'd see anywhere else. It does have the Lippert big old stairs that everybody gets these days. We were happy to get that. We were tired of stepping on those tiny little stairs suspended from underneath the rig. Now I've got something a little more solid. You know, we're not small people, so we prefer something with a little heft when we're walking upstairs. As we come over here, you'll see we've got the traditional 110 volt on the outside that you see on most RVs, but you also have the quick release port. This is just for cold water. This hose comes with it, and this is what you can plug into the other side. When I showed you the Nautilus system, you saw that there was another port, so you can put this on either side. Down here, you have from Lippert the Kurt branded new suspension system. It's got on each side 2 shocks and a big old spring, and I guess some bump stops, and there's nothing connecting the two. They are 2 entirely separate wheels with no axle in between. They also come with truck tires. My trailer was built during pandemic shortages, so you're going to see a few things on mine that are not standard on everyone else's. So whereas the all-terrain tire is what was advertised that everyone gets, some people are getting highway tires, and that's what I got here as well. I have the Fortitude HT Wranglers. So these are not quite as beefy as the ATs. If you look up any comparison on the web, you'll see they measure up a little less. But needless to say, it's a decent tire. There's a good chance that before I do the run up to the Arctic Ocean, up to Tuktoyaktuk, I'll be replacing all the tires on my truck and here. We'll see how that goes, but I'd like something super beefy before I start hitting 700 kilometers of dirt road. Let's talk about here. We've got the wheel chock. I think they're calling it the parking brake now. So this, they give you an extra little angle bar that you put in right here, and then you can wedge this chock onto the wheel. So when you stop, it helps hold the wheel straight. You don't have 2 wheels to brace against each other. And so, to be honest, the wheel chocks so far have been fairly unnecessary. This thing holds really well, and when you have the wheel chock on and you have the stabilizer jacks down and you get inside, the thing does not rock at all. So it's really nice. This big door here you might think is a kitchen, but it's not. We'll be showing this off more on the inside, But this is one of the reasons I bought this specific model. This opens up to a great big cargo area. This cargo area has 2 bunks. When I show you the inside tour, I'll have these bunks configured a little closer to what I'd like to show you. In other words, one of these bunks will be a desk, the other one will be a shelf. I'll be showing you that in a little bit. So come around to the back. All right, so in the back, you've got this back door, this portal. This allows you to put kayaks, stand-up paddleboards, and other long items in the back. I'll be stashing and storing a lot of the chairs here and things like that, the outdoor chairs and such. Also, it has this E-track system, which I'll be showing you, so I can strap things to the walls pretty easily. This Lippert ladder comes along with it. The Lippert ladder is really great. It extends out, and you can hook it up to this mount point they have there, and it's much safer than walking up the back of a straight vertical ladder on the back of an RV. And that corner is a little rough sometimes to get on the roof, so they put a second one over here. And that one allows you to get on the roof in a more safe manner because you're in the middle of the trailer, and it allows you to reach over and get your slide wiped off before you bring it in. I'd like to point out there's no slide topper on there, and that's because there was a little mistake made when I picked it up at Woody's, and they're making good on it, and I'm going to bring it back to get that slide topper in just a couple of days. But I decided to take it out and do this shakedown run without it, and maybe it'll reveal the leaks and then the rain over the next couple of days as well. So probably a good idea it's off at first, but kudos to Woody's here. They made good on it, even though they forgot to put it on there. It was just a little bit of a clerical error. They ran right out and said no problem, and they're even throwing in an extra winterizing service for me just because they made the mistake and wanted to make good. So thank you very much, Woody's. For the record, I'm not paid by Woody's. Here you also see the other Furrion camera that's mounted on the back. That is another pre-built camera mount, so it's all wired up for the Furrion wireless camera. You just take off the faceplate and snap in the camera, and it's good to go. So far, this trailer has towed like a dream. I've done about 60 kilometers. It follows really closely. It's the shortest trailer I've had, so backing in was a little bit of a challenge. Kudos to my neighbor, kind of came out and provided some extra eyes. The shorter the trailer, the faster it whips back and forth when you're turning your wheels. So I think when I leave here, before I go take it to the next parking area, I'm going to do some parking lot work with cones and get the hang of this thing and how it is to back up. It'll be good to train without the camera as well. And then when I get the camera, it's going to be easy street. Can't wait to put these tires to use. Can't wait to hit the off-road, get it out on FSR. I'm not sure if I'm going to be able to get to one before the season's over. So those are just some of the features of the Ember 191 MSLX. Again, you'll kind of see the 191 MSL as the common model name, but that X on the end of any of the models means it's the Max Solar package, which when I do the inside tour, I'll talk a little bit more about. And here we are with the interior of the 191 MSLX from Ember, the Overland series. Just do a quick little 360 here, and then we'll start talking about particular aspects of it. So here you can see we have 2 couches. This couch in the back, both of them fold flat, and this one in the back turns into a Murphy bed, which I'll demonstrate now. One of the things you have to do is you have to remove all of the items from this little task area or storage area, because that's where the bed's going to lay down. We want to pull out the couch. While we're opening this up, I'll show you a few things that are under here. Under the couch is a few items you're going to see. That is a 3,000 watt inverter. There's also 2 Battle-Born lithium batteries under there. And under there is the Truma Combi water heater and furnace, a highly efficient European furnace and water heater that is generally used in B-class motorhomes and small compact setups. It's, like I said, highly efficient and very small. And then here's the bed. As I lower this Murphy bed, Josh the RV nerd calls this a bendy bed. So if I just pull the bed forward here, the mattress has a little seam in the middle, so it's effectively like two combined mattresses. And that allows you to, it's a lot easier to do with two hands. And then there's the bed. Now, obviously, I've taken the pillows away. There's just a couple of blankets. I've slept in it a few nights solo. And yes, the bed is too thin, like most RV beds right out of the package. The bed's too thin. So we're going to look at getting either a foam layer that we're going to put on top, a nice memory foam layer, or we're going to get a futon or something. But yeah, that's not going to work. It's fine if you're laying flat on your back. As soon as you lie on your side, it's awful. So I can't say it enough. This cargo area is a big reason why we bought the trailer. At least this model. I was already interested in this trailer due to its structural integrity and ability to go off-road. You've got extra USB ports in here, as well as extra lights. You've got AC power down below on both sides, and space to run up a power strip. So this is basically going to be my edit suite and office when I'm traveling and working from the road. We're really excited about this flex space. Since we don't have kids, we're not worried about bunk beds. And I've thought about bunk beds for their storage purposes, but it's never been quite convenient. This is convenient. So kudos to Ember. Kudos to everybody who put in their 2 cents suggesting that they pull out the bunks and do something different. Of course, we have the 2 different access doors. So this very large access door, which comes with a, you'll see rolled up there, a very large screen that you can Velcro in. And then you have the small cargo door in the back, which makes for quick access for all the tables and chairs that go outside. And also, if you have a long outdoor item like a paddleboard or a kayak, you can actually slide it up here and store it in here. It will impede some of the fridge and bathroom door access, but you know, you can pull it out when you're at a rest area. So that's the flex area. Again, going back to the kitchen is pretty small and minimalistic. One of the things we gave up in this kitchen was there is no oven. We have a microwave. We've got 2 burners. That'll be good enough. We've got a nice large sink. We've got this whole area to prep and do stuff. And then we've got storage underneath. I'll probably cut away here to some of the items that we put in here. I have taken pictures of all of the stuff that we put in. But you'll see here that I was able to fit all the pots and pans under the sink, and a toaster, everything we needed. Some additional space down below that I haven't really utilized yet, other than a couple of cup holders. And then I need to get some silverware organizers, obviously. And then you can see we'll be putting up a knife magnet board up here. So right now I've set some of the knives in here. More utensils and general just some dish towels and sandwich baggies and such. So far we haven't really had a problem with what we would normally put in the RV going into various places. We still have extra space. You can see here additional bags and tinfoil and such. I'll be probably putting a plastic bin up there. I'll have to find one online or at IKEA that fits that square really well, and I'm hoping I can just slide it in and out like a drawer. There is a lip under here, so and like most of these types of nooks, that allows for items not to slide out if you put a box in there. Then additionally, you know, some more stuff here is generally where the coffee stuff goes. You see down here, that's my lifeblood right there. And I'll figure out a place to put up a paper towel roll. It's probably going to be right here, but I haven't quite figured that out. Obviously, it needs to be far enough away from the stove, but easily accessible to the kitchen. So what else here? Let's see. Just to go back to the overall layout of this, one of the things I really like about this trailer and the way it's laid out is it's effectively could be a professional environment. There are times when we're traveling, we're seeing some of our friends who are professional friends, and when they drop in and visit you when you're traveling in your RV, it's nice if they don't have to sit on the edge of a bed, and it's a little awkward when people are hanging out in your bedroom. So this makes it a little bit more of a workspace, a little bit more of a meeting space, something that Johanna and I are a little more used to in our corporate sort of, you know, professional lives. It does have a very large television. The television runs off 12 volts. I should point out that because of that really large inverter that's underneath there, the air conditioner and the microwave, and every AC plug is running off of the inverter. I'll probably go into some future conversation about the complexities of our solar system. But for now, just know that we have 570 watts of solar on the roof. We've got, I think, around 200 amp hours. I'll put up a graphic here to correct myself with the actual number of amp hours available in the 2 Battle-Born batteries. And of course, we have a 3,000 watt generator. And whenever we're stopped in an RV park, we're plugged in like I am now. Now here you have the Ember control panels. It's cool that it's motion activated, so it lights up. It's kind of funny in the middle of the night whenever you walk around. So here is the control panel. You have your lights, your awning. You have the ability to, and I don't know how much it'll show up on camera here, but I can dim the lights down and up pretty brightly. You have the Truma Combi controller here, which allows you to control the furnace and the water heater, which is all in one unit. You have some more controls down here where this actually allows you to dim the outdoor LED strip light, so you can make a very low light campsite if you'd like to. And that's where the one AC plug is for the so-called kitchen. There are more switches and USB ports down here. The switches here are for the lights that are actually up behind the bed, so you can't really see them when the bed is up. And then over here they've got some additional USB ports and AC ports and the Ember light. They have this little night light installed here, which you can turn off individually or turn off the whole button there, because there's a couple of them here in the rig. It is nice at night to just turn that on. It's a very low level light that allows you to kind of use the bathroom and such without having to get real bright lights on. I'm going to walk to the bathroom and show you the other Ember light. This is a good introduction to the bathroom. The bathroom itself is fairly sizable for a 22-foot RV. Really, it's a 19-foot model, but 22 feet, toe to toe. So it's a very spacious bathroom for a 19-foot model. As we go in, we'll see it has an actual ceramic toilet, which is nice, mainly because it's easy to clean ceramic. Those plastic toilets tend to get gross after a while. It has a barely adequate shower. I mean, it's a good enough shower. I'm a big guy. It has this weird outcropping for the soap dish, which makes it very inconvenient when you're standing in the shower. It's nearly always bumping into your body. And I'll show you the shower curtain is effectively this thing you close, and it's just weird. I mean, it's effective, I'm sure, for most people. I mean, I'm bigger than most people. It's good enough, but we may look at creating some sort of curved traditional shower curtain, maybe a couple of magnets at the bottom, so that we can have a traditional curved shower and a little more space for your elbows when you're trying to soap up. Because it's a Truma Combi water heater, it doesn't quite last as long as those big traditional RV water heaters, whereas they're normally around 5 gallons. I believe this is around 2.5 gallons of hot water, so you have to be a little more efficient. But I took a shower. It lasted about 5 to maybe 7 minutes continuously running. So if you turn it off in the middle of soaping up and do a marine shower or camper shower, whatever you call it, you can actually make this last quite a while, so you get a few minutes of hot water at the end to just relax. What else to say? Okay, so it has this nice storage area. It came with the toilet paper dispenser installed, which is, for RVers, you always have to figure out where to install that. It's kind of always a trip. It's got a really nice sink setup, including a nice, let's see here, the Ember light switch. So I turn that off and on right there. And then it has this nice backlight, especially if you're shaving or doing makeup, a nice way to light the behind the mirror. Gives a nice little accent lighting. You have, of course, the light above. And then you have this fan, which I should open up the vent a little if I'm going to turn it on. But you have this very large fan, very reminiscent of a Fantastic fan. I don't think it's the same brand, but let's turn that on. And you can crank that up all the way to level 3, which really sucks air out of the rig. This is great when you're cooking or you need to evacuate hot air out of the rig. We, of course, have the big skylight up front that we can open up as well. So this really helps get airflow moving quickly through the rig. You do have a skylight on the top of the shower. Of course, it makes it nicer when you're showering, a little extra light. And for taller people, I don't really need it. It gives them just a little extra headroom to stand up, since it is raised up off the ground by a few inches. You'll see here again with these replacement windows they also have replacement window shades. Now these should have bug screens and sunscreens like my skylight, but unfortunately they don't. So I wanted to show travel mode. So travel mode is where the slide out is in. And when the slide out is in or retracted, you still have full use of the trailer. This was really important to me. I've mentioned this before. The slide out is reinforced so you can sit in it when it's slid in. There are a lot of RVs out there that do not have reinforced slide outs, so you can't actually sit in the couch or the dinette. You're not supposed to use it at all if it's in and retracted. This is not like that. So we can come in here, we can both lay down on the couch, we can make food, we can access the fridge. It may not open all the way, but it opens more than enough for us to get everything we need on the road. And then most importantly, we can access the bathroom. And this just barely touches the cushion. That's fine. So that gives us full use of the entire trailer. And of course, we have access to the flex room or office. So this was an important part of this trailer purchase decision, is we wanted a trailer that we could stop and even spend the night at without having to put the slide out. I'm not going to do it right here, but if I take this Murphy bed and bring it down, it will in fact fit just inside here, so you can have the Murphy bed down while the slide out is in. Again, this is a game changer for us, since a lot of our road trips have been long road trips where we want to stop on the side of the road and the last thing we want to do is put the slide out. Secondarily, if we do have a slide out problem and we're able to get the slide out back in, we can continue on our vacation or camping trip and not have to cancel it just because the slide out is stuck in. This is a perfect example where I stopped at a rest area just because I wanted some coffee. So I pulled over, brewing up some coffee, and then I'll drive around some more, test out the RV. Well, I hope you found that informative. I'm no Josh the RV nerd, but I wanted to give you a view of the Ember from my perspective, having just purchased it. If you have any questions or comments, go ahead and hit me up in the comment section. I'll be sure to reply back. Thanks everyone. Don't forget to subscribe and like this video.